Welcome to the 5G Podcast.
We're glad you're here.
We hope you enjoy our conversations about God, guns, games, goals, and gastronomy.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode.
It is recording.
Beautiful.
So I think we can start with your... So last time we talked about we started off with my opinion of... What is it called?
Mission Impossible. Mission
Jeez,
Impossible,
I had to
yeah.
look down at my notes to freaking remember what the name of the movie is. Yeah.
Yeah, Mission Impossible.
I
don't even remember the actual name.
uh...
Rogue? No.
No.
Ghost? No.
No.
Ninjas?
Definitely Ninja.
Ninja Protocol
No,
2.
it was shoot, what was it called? Anyway,
Anyway,
the new
part
Mission
one.
Impossible. Yeah,
But it was good. It didn't feel like a part one. You gave me that sort of disclaimer, and by the end of the movie, this is like my very first take on it. The end of the movie, like the credits roll up, and I'm like, I'm kind of ready for more. Like, give me another 45 minutes. Like, I feel like we're right there at the climax again already.
yeah.
It's like, come on, let's do it. Even though it had there was enough of a falling action and a resolution, there was still like not a cliffhanger, but there was still more to do.
Yes.
Clearly. And so you're like, all right, that's a good part one, where it feels like a complete movie.
Last time I explained it, how there's kind of two plot lines,
Sure.
and one of them resolves while the other one ramps up at the very end. Was that kind of a
Yeah, I think
good
so.
take?
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely. My wife, on the other hand, she was kind of like checking her watch by the end. She's like, man, this is a long movie.
Really?
And then I'm like, okay, so they probably could have cut out like 20-ish minutes. It was pretty long. But I enjoyed it. I like long movies, but I know I don't know, I guess the general populace. It's like,
Yeah,
it's kind of sitting in a movie theater for 3 hours is not for everybody.
I enjoy long movies as long as they're good long movies.
Good long movies, yeah.
Yeah. So you enjoyed this movie then?
I did totally.
What
Like
would you-
Tom Cruise killed it. I enjoyed seeing the action. Obviously, they hyped up the motorcycle jump off the cliff.
Yeah.
That was cool, knowing that was like not CG.
Yeah, like the only CG part of it was like the ramp. They made it look like rock.
The ramp that they covered, right?
Like,
right.
okay, that's reasonable.
And then like you probably CG'd all the medics and everybody standing on.
Yeah, probably
by,
they were
like,
CG'd out.
Yeah, but I heard a funny report that he busted 3 motorcycles while filming because he had to just jump them off the cliff and just let them drop. So before they got the perfect take they wanted, he had already busted 3.
I also heard something along the lines of that for that movie, he did something like, I think it was like 60 free fall jumps or something. Like
That's insane.
That's so many.
I was talking with my dad about this over the weekend. My dad is like, Tom Cruise is 60. He's 2 years older than me, and the things this guy does, like still doing all these crazy stunts, and he doesn't look 60 at all.
No,
Like,
he doesn't.
I know there's a little bit of makeup that they do, but
Yeah, but he is starting to show a little bit of age. But
Yeah.
it's like if you told me like, yeah, this guy's like 40, maybe 45, I'd be like,
I believe
yeah,
it. Yeah,
it was like a healthy looking 45-year-old.
sure.
Not 60 years old.
60, no way.
It's like, what the heck?
So that the ending, I enjoyed the stunts, the theatrics. I really liked. There was no politics in the movie. It was very refreshing.
Yes.
For being like a modern spy action thriller. I don't know. Any movie these days,
Yes.
you can throw politics into it. There was no politics.
Zero.
Not even like right, left, nothing. There wasn't even like, oh, but maybe this one thing. No,
There was zero. It
there
was
was zero
literally
politics.
zero.
Anybody can go see this movie and enjoy it, and you won't like. There's no message they're trying to cram down your throat from either side. It was just a movie, and I respect that because that does kind of seem to be the pattern with what Tom Cruise does. He just makes entertaining movies. Like
Yeah.
last summer, he killed it with Top Gun 2. Like that was awesome.
Oh my god.
Like you could argue, oh, there's a bit of patriotism in there, but so was the first
But
one.
it's
So I mean,
Top Gun. Yeah. Like if you don't have patriotism in Top Gun,
that's an American movie. Like
well, it's an American fighter program.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't be like, oh, we're the Chinese Top Gun.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Oh, great, you're flying in freaking MiG 3s. Like,
yeah. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Even knowing some of Tom Cruise's views or whatever, it's like that. No, he puts all that aside. He does not put his own political views into his movies.
Yeah.
It's great. It's very respectable. And then the last thing I really enjoyed was Haley Atwell's character.
Yeah, right?
Because you mentioned that as well. Like, it's kind of unexpected, but she did a really good job.
Yeah.
And I should say it was unexpected the how they used her character, not that she did a good job. I know she's a good actress, but it was cool to see her character transition. And without spoiling anything, she was totally just like mistrusting at the beginning. That was her character. She's a thief. She doesn't trust anybody. And it made it that much more impactful when by the end she finally did trust someone. And it was cool to see have a female character be a female character, but still go through this process of growth. I know that's kind of like a beating a dead horse at this point, but the overpowered, strong female protagonist is just, nobody cares about those anymore. We want to see growth in our characters, regardless of their gender.
Yeah. Yeah. It reminded me when I went to go see the movie and I saw Haley Atwell's character as like starting to become like the main character while watching the movie. I was like, shoot, man, are we gonna get another freaking James Bond bullcrap here?
Yeah.
Because they had the James Bond movie, the last one with Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that. She was like making fun of how old he was.
Yeah, and like it's like, okay, like we can have good female characters who are still baddies.
Totally, yeah.
But how about we make them just like, how about we make it about equality and have them develop throughout the movie, just like the male characters are. You're doing a disservice to these female actresses and to audiences by giving them this bland, stale, like steel plate of a character,
and it's just the like, same thing. Every character.
Like, there's strong. I'm a woman and I can do everything that a man can do, and I'm the best. It's like, okay, and you don't change throughout the entirety of the story.
You can hear my eyes rolling, like.
Like it's like if you are a movie writer or a book writer, whatever writer, you're writing a story, you're creating a story, right? And you have a character, regardless of gender, who stays the same the entire time, and they're a main character. It's like a background character. It's like whatever, right? Whatever. It's like, oh yeah, that's Jim John the Third. He's the barkeep, and he is the barkeep.
Yeah,
right.
There's some one line about his backstory. Yeah, orcs destroyed his village when he was young, or whatever,
and he became a barkeep because of that. Like whatever, right?
Whatever. Who?
It's like
who cares?
Whatever. Not a main character.
D&D character level backstory, like.
But if you have a main character who we're supposed to form some sort of attachment with, because that's ostensibly the idea behind a main character. You're supposed to become attached to a.
That's the human experience.
Yeah,
is growth. Like that's.
How about we like write some emotion into them and write some, it's kind of like Keanu Reeves characters, like John Wick.
John Wick, yeah.
One of the reasons I like John Wick 3 was not my favorite John Wick.
Sure, yeah. No, that's understandable.
The violence in it and the action was awesome.
Excellent.
Maybe a little bit grotesque and over the top. But nonetheless, very enjoyable to watch. And by no means was it a bad movie.
Oh, no.
But Keanu Reeves played that character like a 2x4 in that third movie. There was zero character progression like there was in the first one and the second one.
Yeah,
like
I don't remember any lines from the third movie, like any lines that he said.
No.
Whereas, like the first one, I could probably tell you some things. Like,
well, and like the first one, like, I don't even remember what the storyline of the third one was. It's like, oh, I know he killed a bunch. Like, I remember a bunch of the killing scenes, and like, I know he falls off a building at the end.
And he fought a ninja right before that.
Oh, he did fight a couple ninjas, but like, it was like a ninja movie, and that's it. And then like the fourth one was a little bit the same. Like he had some closure at the end of like the whole thing, so it was kind of like okay. But like the first one and the second one, where you see like his character go through the mourning and like the anger and all that, it's like, okay, let's write more of those characters where it's like, because there was still action in those movies, but the action had meaning behind it. It wasn't just meaningless. Like, oh yeah, for some reason these guys are chasing me. Let me just shoot them in the head. It's like, okay, that's fun to watch like once, but like, it's like going back and watching like Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Right? Where there's a reason that they're doing this.
It's not just senseless violence.
It's not just, hey, we like killing Nazis, which, fair enough.
That sounds like a pretty good reason
But
to me.
they're all Jews who most likely have, like, family connections to some people in the camps and things like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, totally.
And so you can feel that undercurrent of, like, this tension between them, right? It's like, you know, they have to kind of bridle themselves a little bit instead of just going ham. And that they do just kind of go ham.
And that feels real. Like, that's what draws in an audience. Yeah. If it feels real. If your character's a 2x4, just emotionless.
Yeah. Sometimes an attractive 2x4.
I mean, yeah, you know, you try to what's the word? Icing on the cake or whatever. Try to distract the viewer from that.
Makeup on a pig.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. I think Haley Atwell did a fantastic job, and the writers did a fantastic job with her character.
Not a 2x4, but very attractive.
Yes.
Agreed.
Putting makeup on a very attractive human being, not a pig.
just amplifies. Excellent. 10 out of 10. Good movie. 10 very out of 10. Yeah, that's what I mean.
And not like over the top.
No, it like, really wasn't.
There was like some points where you're like, whoa, that's pretty cool. But like nothing like, there wasn't like...
Yeah.
You know,
the car chase scene was dynamic.
Yeah.
That was cool. So that's another thing. Watching movies with my wife, we always joke every time there's a car chase scene, that's when she falls asleep. She's just like, all right. They're going to do the same, like, the same camera shots of them, like, them shifting. The foot on the gas pedal. Yeah. And then it's just, the police are here now. Like, every car chase scene is the same. But no, this one was good. It was dynamic. It was different.
Funny.
And it was actually funny, too. In the middle of it, they found a way to make it, like, it was probably 20-ish minutes long. But it had kind of different phases to it. It was funny, like...
And there was, like, some, like, backstabbing with Haley Atwell's character and Tom Cruise's character.
Yeah, because they're handcuffed for part of the car chase scene. Trying to drive. Yeah, it was very... I think it was...
Another thing that I really actually enjoyed was, what's her name? I don't remember the actress's name. Oh, Palm Kleinkloff.
I don't know who that is.
She was the blonde Asian chick with like the really white makeup or whatever.
Yeah, she was like a martial artist.
She was like one of the thugs, right?
Yeah,
she's Mantis.
And from Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought I recognized her face, but
it was really interesting because I've only ever seen her in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a very bubbly and naive character.
Yeah.
Kind of blah, 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 which I just saw the new one of that.
Meh.
But I really enjoyed her character in this movie as well.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty neat, actually.
Pretty well.
I wasn't expecting much because I thought she was just like a thug.
Yeah. But they wrapped it in kind of nicely.
No, they did actually, yeah.
And there was enough character progression where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah. And she made a great thug, too. Like, she did very well at the whole evil person thing.
That's a positive thing about such a long movie is they had a lot of characters, but it felt like they kind of resolved a lot of the characters, or they all had good arcs. Besides maybe the antagonist, they kind of like had to retcon a little bit. They're like, this is the antagonist, and then clearly we'll see him in part 2.
Certainly.
But other than that, like, and I forgive that. I mean, that makes sense. Other than that, everyone else was done pretty well. Even his friends, they like the black guy was kind of like, hey, I gotta go away and figure out this AI thing or whatever. They kind of like maybe gave an excuse why he's not gonna be in the next movie for very much or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, sure,
yeah,
well done.
It was good. Anything else to say on that?
No, yeah,
that's
sounds good.
I really enjoyed the movie. I'd give it a solid 8.5, 8.7 out of 10. It's
good action movie.
Not many movies get 9s, but
no. Do you want to recap your vacation? That is fresh on your mind. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, haven't seen you for
2 weeks, 2.5.
2 weeks. I think the last time I saw you was that last or 2 Tuesdays ago when we filmed the previous episode.
Yeah.
For all of you who are watching, all 17 and a half of you. My family went on a trip to Turkey and Rhodes. So, yeah, we went on a week-long... the trip was 10 days, but we went scuba diving for 6 days on a. We rented a boat, a private.
Private houseboat.
Yeah, it's like it's called a liveaboard.
Okay.
And so you have like there's like cabins that like the same, a little bit smaller. No, about the same size as like a cruise ship cabin. But there's not 1,000 of them. There's like 10 of them.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it was my entire family.
Yeah.
So
even some extended.
my parents, which is 2. I have 4 siblings, so that's 5 of us. 2 sibling-in-laws. Well, my wife and my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Their 2 kids. So there was 13 of us total, I think.
Okay.
My aunt and my aunt's boyfriend came. Aunt's boyfriend of 35 years.
Your uncle.
He is we call him Uncle Eddie,
Yeah.
right? Like we call him Uncle Eddie, but yeah, and so we left on a Thursday night, took a red-eye flight to JFK in New York, had a little bit of a layover there, then flew to France, had very little of a layover there.
Yeah, sprinting across the airport.
Literally.
That sucks.
Like we had an hour in between our flights.
Yeah, it's like when the
and we had to go
lands.
through passport control.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe it was an hour and a half. It was very little time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then we flew into Rhodes.
Okay.
And from Rhodes, we haven't slept in a hotel at this point yet, right?
This is airport sleeping.
We get there on Sunday. So Thursday night we leave. This is Sunday that we land in Rhodes.
Yeah.
In the late morning, like 11 o'clock.
Now, is Rhodes a country?
Rhodes is part of Greece.
Oh, okay.
Rhodes is part of Greece.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, neither did I until this moment.
I've heard of it, but
yeah, you have like the Colossus of Rhodes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately.
I've heard that. Yeah, it's one of the 7 ancient wonders.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So then we took a ferry from Rhodes. Rhodes is like, it's part of Greece, but it's effectively part of Turkey.
Oh, okay, that's kind of interesting.
It's so close. It's literally like a mile from the coast of Turkey.
That's very odd, yeah.
And it's like it's a good distance from actual mainland Greece.
Yeah. So it's just one of those weird things where it's like, obviously it was a colony, they owned it at some point. Maybe Greece's territory extended, or just literally they claimed it first. Like how Spain owns the Canary Islands, which are like down off the coast of Africa.
Yeah. Or how London owns like the bottom part of Spain.
Yeah.
Or the one little random tip. I don't know what that was called.
And then England also owns the Falkland Islands way down by Argentina. Don't tell the Argentines that. They're still a little bitter about that, but
yeah. So then after Rhodes, we walked. So we had a few hours there because we took a ferry boat from Rhodes to mainland Turkey.
Okay.
A place called Marmaris.
Was that by choice, or was there just not a good airport in Turkey?
It is actually so
because the side of Turkey that you wanted to get to.
Yeah, so we could have flown into a city near Marmaris, but it would have taken this was the most efficient way.
Gotcha. Or maybe it's like a 16-hour bus ride from Turkey.
This was the most efficient way. And so we had some problems with the ferry boat. Ryan almost had heat stroke.
Ooh, I was going to say just getting seasick.
It was hotter than Satan's gooch. And
you're right there, on the water, so it's just...
And it was really hot. It felt hotter there than it was here.
Wow.
In Phoenix. Part of that was probably the humidity, but... Mm-hmm. So, anyway, we took the ferry over to this city called Marmaris, which is a beautiful city, and then took a 2-hour car ride to this port city. Well, they're all port cities, but this other city called Bosborn. I don't know how to say it.
That's fair.
It's something like Bosborn or something. And that's where we got on our boat finally. And then met the crew and had all our stuff on there. And so that Sunday night is when we actually finally got on the boat at around 8 p.m.
Just like, vacation has started.
Well, not quite. Because let me tell you, we were in for a little bit of a surprise. First off, I will caveat. This vacation was sick. Like, it was awesome.
It was good.
It was a super awesome vacation. The trip there sucked. Getting there blew fat chunks.
Based on what you described, yeah, that doesn't.
It sucked. And Ryan was even like, "I'm never going on another trip with your family again. This blows."
That's funny.
And then we get there, and it's still hotter than Satan's balls, right? And so we get on the boat, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, they're giving us the whole spiel and stuff like that." We're like, "Yeah." And originally, we had thought that the cabins were air conditioned.
Ooh, no.
Turns out there were ACs in them, but the cabin that Ryan and I chose didn't have an AC that was functioning.
No.
And it didn't even matter, actually. We were really pissed about it the first day. But they only turn it on for 3 hours a day anyway, right before bed. So it cools the cabin down, and then you have to But, so the first night, we slept in our cabin thinking we're supposed to sleep in the cabin, right? And I slept on... So Ryan, there was like a twin-sized, not twin, a full-sized bed where Ryan slept, and then there was a little bunk that was about... I'm relatively wide. I had 1 inch on each side of me.
Yeah.
And I smacked my head. It was fine. I could have
doable.
I could have slept there comfortably if there had been air conditioning, right?
Yeah.
But no air conditioning, and the portholes. We were thinking oh well, it's windy. The porthole will blow cool air in. Zero breeze. And so we woke up the next morning pretty miserable, but it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Here, it's
a little bittersweet.
I was fine because I've had some pretty crappy living experiences before.
Yeah.
Ryan, on the other hand, was not very happy. So that day goes by. We go on a couple dives. The diving was good and bad because there wasn't a ton of sea life.
Oh, okay.
But where we went diving was super interesting.
Okay.
Because it was there was ancient pots on the bottom of the ocean.
That is really neat, actually. Where else in the world are you going to see that?
The big amphora pots, the Greek pots with that you see in museums, sitting on the bottom of the ocean,
just there.
And we'd go up and scuba dive around them and stuff like that.
Wow,
it was super cool. But then that night we were like, "Yo, Amit," the name of the captain. We were like, "Dude, is there any way we can have this AC on all night?" He's like, "Well, no, but just sleep on the deck." And we were like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." So they had these lounge pads on the front of the boat, on the top of the boat, and they were cabled down, tied down.
Okay.
And so we were like, "Sleep up there?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude. You guys need to sleep up there."
What?
So we slept up there. Oh my gosh. It wasn't the most comfortable thing I've ever slept on, but it was extremely reasonably comfortable.
Yeah.
It was way doable. And
just up on the front of the boat.
Yeah. And
hope you don't roll too much in your sleep.
Well, so it wasn't next to the edge of the boat.
No rails.
There was some guardrails to keep you on. But yeah, and the sea breeze and we literally just brought our pillows up from our bed every night and a little thin sheet and just slept on that. So nice.
That's awesome.
You put your pillow up, you grab your stuff to get ready for bed. You put your pillow on the padding, you throw your blanket down. Usually I just use it as a cover.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sleeping on just the straight pad itself. And you'd lie down and I would, put my hands above my head and just look up at the stars. So every night we were docked somewhere else, but we weren't docked. We were just anchored somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
And so most of the time we were anchored where there's we were the only person there. Nothing near us at all. And so there's no light pollution. So you can see the whole Milky Way.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Shooting stars. And so we slept out underneath the stars for the rest of the trip, basically. And from then on, the trip actually became super fun and interesting and stuff like that.
Wow.
And we would go on 2 or 3 dives a day, which is a lot, but they're only about 45 minutes to an hour a piece. And so, hey, stop that.
Go.
And so we would just be doing whatever for the rest of the time. And if we were docked somewhere, we would just jump in the water and swim around in the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah.
And it's so salty there, and no wave. There's 0 waves where we were docked. It was the lakes here, except smoother and way clearer and cleaner. Like you could see the bottom. You could see the bottom even if it was like 60 feet down.
Yeah, all right.
And we would just sit there, and it was so salty that all of us, regardless of like body fat percentage, could just float, feet up and like straight up and down, not like on our backs, just like bob up and down like little lemmings or something like that.
Wow.
And we'd all just like sit there, doo, 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 doo. Like little diglets.
Yeah.
And so it was like really nice because like you didn't have to like tread water or anything like that. You could just like float and like
relax.
chill, and so yeah, it was a very fantastic trip. I'll have to show you pictures after.
Sure, yeah. Off air. Cool, yeah, that sounds.
No, and then the trip back we did basically the reverse of what we had done before.
Yeah, boat to the airport.
But we spent a night in Rhodes.
Oh, okay.
Instead, so we took the 2-hour
ferry
bus ride to the ferry, the ferry across. And that we took a morning ferry, so we were back in Rhodes at like 10 a.m. and checked into our hotel at around 10 a.m.
Yeah, because then you
maybe
had the whole day
11
there.
or noon or something like that. And so yeah, so Ryan and I, we the hotel was awesome that we stayed in. It was super comfortable, super clean.
Have like museums and stuff there. I mean, obviously they don't have a giant Colossus statue anymore, but
They do have some museums. We didn't stop in any because they were kind of expensive.
Dang.
Which was kind of a bummer. And
Yeah,
we were having a good time. By that point, it had cooled down throughout the week.
Okay.
So it started off really hot, but by the end, it was warm. It was hot still, right? But not like
Summertime.
not killing you hot, right?
Yeah.
Like it was comfortable to be outside in the shade.
Cool.
And if you were in the sun, it was like a little bit warm, and you would sweat still, but not like it wasn't anything insane. And so yeah, we walked around Rhodes and then took a fat nap in the air conditioning, which was nice.
For the first time in a week.
Took a shower with soap. Lisa hadn't showered in the week because the boat we didn't have soap on the boat.
Oh.
And the shower, I mean, they had fresh water to shower with and drink and stuff like that. They had a desalination plant on board the boat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it was just kind of not feasible to shower and then, I mean, you're getting in the water every single day, like multiple times a day. So if you showered, you were going to get sweaty and stinky again. So like we would all rinse off, but.
Sure.
But then at night we walked around Rhodes and they have this really old fortress there that was like
neat.
torn down a couple times and had like cannons and trebuchets and all this cool stuff, like original stuff like that around. It was saw a bunch of old ruins, like on these random little tiny islands from like pre-Roman times.
Yeah.
Like 3,000 years ago,
Give or take.
Yeah, it's like what?
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, solid trip.
Nice.
Solid trip.
Once in a lifetime, yeah, I bet.
Once in a lifetime.
10 out of 10 would recommend?
So for me, yes.
Yeah.
This was like one of my like favorite vacations I've ever been on.
Nice.
For some people, it might be a little bit adventurous.
Okay, yeah.
Depending on your adventure level. And like your willingness to like go someplace where you don't speak any of the language.
Oh, yeah. None of you spoke any of the language.
Yeah. And Turkish is not a language you can like readily understand.
No, okay.
Like you don't even know where the word breaks are when they're talking. It just sounds like
blows together.
Yeah. And I was like, sweet.
Hablas inglés?
Yeah. So, but yeah, there was a whole crew on the boat. They cooked our meals for us and everything like that. So
Cool.
We had authentic Turkish food the entire week.
Yeah.
Like, which was, in some instances, awesome. In other instances, I was kind of done with it because they eat a lot of eggplant.
Oh, I've heard that actually.
Eggplant's fine. Like once in a while, it's fine. Every day for 2 or 3 meals a day,
eggplant
gets a little old.
We're gonna have eggplant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Legitimately.
Look, we made eggplant ice cream for dessert.
Well, and you know what? They did it the chef did it in a variety of ways. So it was like,
all right, yeah. So it's like
it wasn't just like an eggplant.
If you're gonna have eggplant every day, at least it's by somebody who knew how to prep it.
Yeah, no, the food was delicious.
Just raw.
No, the food was top tier food.
Yeah,
and it was all like super fresh. Like there was nothing packaged.
Yeah, no, I bet that was awesome.
Yeah, I felt like I was like eating clean.
You're not eating like oils and hydrogenated corn syrup crap.
And it was awesome.
Yeah. American packaged, preserved. It's all sorts of junk that
he made French fries like a couple times, but like
oh cool,
he made them.
Yeah,
he took a potato and fried it in whatever oil, right?
Shave it.
You know, we had lamb and a bunch of fish and a little bit of chicken, beef, kind of everything.
Nice.
It was really a good trip. Like, I would not take Ryan on this trip again.
Yeah, and there were a couple young kids too, even, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely giving you the good parts of the trip.
Yes, I appreciate that.
I could definitely go into some really crappy events on the trip.
Yeah,
but
I bet you could. Yeah.
This is an upbeat podcast.
Yeah, it's positive.
And for 90% of the trip, it was amazing.
Yeah.
There was 10% of the trip where I could have done without.
You were like, ooh.
Where I was a little bit frustrated and ticked off. But it might even be higher than 90%.
What's a family vacation without being a little bit ticked off, you know?
I don't know. I've never been on one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was really great. I would definitely take, like, if it was like just a bros trip, it would be sick.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Like it would be really dope.
Adventurous enough without being no.
I mean, it was like the most luxurious adventure you can have.
Yeah,
but
you're
it's
just
still reasonably adventurous, right?
Scuba diving, the travel, like for me, days of travel kind of stresses me out. But
yeah, it was there. Yeah, the travel was a bit rough. I would definitely have done it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Given myself like a day somewhere to like chill out.
Like maybe in Europe the first time, so you don't have to stress about your passport and
like
getting across
France
the airport
or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, take a night in France
Relax.
or something, and yeah. But it worked out well. So, and the return travel was super chill. I mean, it kind of sucked because we had a 12-hour layover overnight in Atlanta.
You told me that, yeah.
And I got like 35 minutes to 45 minutes.
Yeah, you're just supposed to sleep in the airport, but
yeah,
I've never had that pleasure.
It wasn't fun.
No.
We got in at about 8 o'clock, and our flight the next morning was at about 8:30. So, yeah, it was.
At least you eat lots of airport food. Ooh.
We couldn't because they were all closed. It was midnight, you know.
Oh yeah,
they were all closed. So we had breakfast there.
Okay.
Actually, that was fantastic. Ryan and I found this place that had a
little cafe or something.
No, it was like a Mexican food place in Atlanta, cool. But they had like a breakfast menu.
Nice.
And so I got this delicious breakfast burrito, and Ryan got this breakfast burrito bowl, just basically the same thing I got, without the tortilla.
Yeah, that's funny.
And it was really good.
A breakfast burrito? Don't you mean every burrito you can eat as a breakfast burrito? Eye rolls. Audible eye rolls. Heard that one time from somebody in like the Midwest or whatever. I don't think it was me. It was someone else. It was on a big Discord chat.
Oh.
Someone. I think they were from Texas talking about it, like, oh yeah, this place has got the best breakfast burritos. And then yeah, someone from the Midwest. It's like every burrito could be a breakfast burrito. You don't know what a breakfast burrito is, do you?
Like, are you just having like a bean and cheese burrito for breakfast?
I think they mean like, yeah, your normal like your dinner time burritos. They're trying to say like, oh, I love those so much I can eat those for breakfast.
That's like cold pizza for breakfast. Yeah, you can do it, but it's not meant for that.
No, it's totally different. There's breakfast burritos. Like that's one word.
It is a compound word.
It's totally different than normal burritos. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but anyway, it was a fantastic trip.
Cool.
I think that I would definitely, if my buddies, if you guys were all scuba certified, it would be a sick trip to do with like just the four of us. Or
were
whatever.
The kids scuba certified?
The two young ones, no.
No, okay, yeah, I don't think so.
The rest of us were though.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was actually the least qualified diver there.
You'd been the longest since you'd done it?
No, I was the least certified.
The lowest.
I was the lowest tier certification.
Oh.
Even Ryan has a higher tier certification than I do.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I had to stay like I can only go down to 60 feet. That's my max depth.
Who's checking, Steven?
My max depth wasn't 60 feet each time. It was definitely higher than that. Definitely not lower.
Lower.
It was definitely not like 70.
What are they doing? Carting you there at 61 feet? Like.
No, but there is reasons that I
it's
tried
different
to stay,
training. Like
I tried to stay at about. I mean, I went down to like 70 feet to look at one of the pots one time, but
I'm not making fun of safety.
No. But the other guys, all of the rest of them can go down to like. I don't think they have a limit.
Oh, no.
I think they're unlimited depth. Not that you ever want to go down unlimited because you have to detox.
Oh yeah.
And it takes a lot of air to do that. But if you go down to like 100 feet or whatever,
just go check out something at least. Yeah.
If you go down to 100 feet for like 1 minute, you can come up fine, no problems. You just do like a 15-minute stop. Not a big deal.
Cool. Maybe someday.
Yeah. There's a bunch of like adventure trips that I want to go on with like friends and not wives because wife doesn't want to go.
Sure. Yeah.
So
we can send the wives to Disneyland or something else like while we go on a trip.
I'm gonna tell you, man, I don't ever want to go to Disneyland.
Not for me. Yeah, we gotta go to Europe sometime or something. That's twice now. You've told me about your Europe trips.
Pretty first one. That one was sketchily adventurous.
I don't think you'll ever be able to have that experience again.
No, nor do I not necessarily want to. Alrighty.
Okay, on to our next topic for the day.
Aliens? Is that what you want to talk about?
Aliens.
Alright, aliens.
I'm not saying it's aliens.
But
it's aliens. Non-human biologics.
So what is this?
Yeah, did you follow the news at all in your week you were gone? It's big. It's big news, Steven.
I've seen some of the headlines, but I've not cared.
Aliens exist. And you know how we know? Because Congress said so.
And they've never lied to the population.
Never. Before. The government would never lie to the American
Why would
population.
they ever lie to us? That doesn't make any sense.
They have our best interests at heart.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So
I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
That's why that's a good quote. So I put it on our notes on our potential topics because Lena and I were talking about it. She fell down the TikTok rabbit hole. I think it was probably last Wednesday or whatever that the UFO hearings happened or whatever in Congress, and tons of data was coming out, and so TikTok was all ablaze with it, and that's maybe it's a part of ADHD or something. My wife was just like kind of hyper focused on that. I mean, also the rabbit hole. I'm sure everybody was that day. And so we were having these like conversations about it, and she kept wanting to like go in depth and go deeper and talking about, but what about this and this? And I was just kind of like, I don't know. I was like, aliens, that's cool, I guess. But then I just like, I don't know. I just
don't care.
I just didn't care that much. And then she got a little offended, and I was like, well, I had to think about why I didn't care. And now it's obvious because we just joked about it. I had to think about why I didn't care and explain that reasonably well to my wife. And I said, well, honestly, I think I don't care because I just don't care about anything the government tells me. I don't trust what they say. So if they say, oh, aliens exist and they're talking to us, why would aliens be talking to the government? And to an addendum to that, if the government claimed, oh, these are like benevolent non-human beings, they're technologically advanced and they're very friendly and nice, I'm like, why are they only talking to the government then? If they're so friendly, why aren't they like talking to the common people?
Yeah.
Just
interesting.
That was the reasoning. I finally like figured it out in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I don't care. Because, Congress found out aliens exist. Okay, like.
I mean, I feel like we've all known that they've existed for like a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Like, and also
there's several scientific theories that they have to exist. Like the universe is infinitely large. It's going to be life out there. Like,
I mean, most scientific theories and most scientists believe in some sort of like multiverse type thing where you exist somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
It's like, okay, so
that's even more far-fetched, but that still seems, why not?
I don't know. I'm of the opinion that it's like they either do or don't exist. It's like, and if they do, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, that doesn't
like when they start affecting my life, then I'll care.
There you go. That doesn't impact my daily life yet, so
yeah,
that's why
it's like knowing that like Azerbaijan exists.
Ooh.
It's like, great, what have they ever done to like affect my life?
Yeah.
It's like I've never had like an Azerbaijani
Azerbaijani, for sure.
Like come up to me and be like, you need to do this, or else you're gonna die, and like, whatever. It's like, okay, when that happens, it happens.
Yeah, that's why I laughed that I put it on our notes as, oh, let's talk about the aliens, even though it'll probably be forgotten in a week.
For sure.
It's been almost a week. I don't think I've heard anything about it.
It's also definitely
the past couple days. So.
It's also definitely a misdirection campaign.
Oh, totally.
Sure.
That was one joke I did see actually just yesterday, some YouTube short or whatever, just like Congress talking to the American people, like, guys, it's here, like aliens exist, and then it's the American people responding like, fix the inflation problem, like, show us Epstein's client list. And
yeah.
No, but guys, aliens exist. Like,
yeah,
we don't care.
I saw that video as well.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny, like something that's relevant to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
It's mildly.
And if they came out and were like showing off the tech that they were like developing from,
there you go.
Be kind of interesting.
If it wasn't just, and all they've seen so far is just like random witness testimonies.
Yeah, it's kind of like a religious thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you go up to someone who hasn't ever believed in God, and you say like, Jesus tells you to repent, and they're like, who the frick is Jesus? Like, who's Jesus?
No, but like, it's so great. Like, you gotta have Jesus in your life.
God loves you. It's like, I'm glad God loves me. Who is God?
I don't
what
know.
Is God?
That doesn't affect me. Like,
yeah, it's like.
So yeah, I think you bring up a good point. Until they show the tech of like, look, we've got lightsabers from the aliens. Something that's important to me in my daily life.
Like, show me how they beam you up, Scotty type stuff.
What kind of food do they eat?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's like, can we get that food? Are they
open a zoo?
Oh,
an alien zoo.
Alien zoo.
That might be inhumane. Not humans.
Not humans.
That might be unethical.
Oh, you put aliens in the zoo.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that makes more sense to what you were saying. I thought like the aliens were going to open up a zoo of all of the life forms they know about.
No.
Like
that would be interesting too.
From their planet.
That would be interesting. I would be down for that as well.
Yeah, right.
That also might be unethical.
If they've just got
I'm pretty anti-zoo. Depending on the zoo.
Depending on the zoo, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm pretty anti-SeaWorld.
Oh, okay.
Like
because the ethical ramifications.
Yeah.
Okay,
because okay, this might be more
in the weeds. All right.
This might be more of a hot take than I was ready to. This is not a.
I'll let you take it back. You don't have to die on this.
No. This is a hill that I feel relatively strongly about.
Okay.
I think that many zoos and newer zoos are doing a good thing where they rescue animals that are in crappy situations, right? They rescue rhinos from poachers. They rescue whatever. Like, okay, they rescue injured lions or whatever that might not have a chance at survival in the Sahara or in the wild.
Yeah.
But in a zoo and wherever they do have a chance of survival and live a relatively happy life.
Yeah, I agree.
And there are some preserves and reserves and zoos that do a good job of making the enclosures very hospitable to the animals and make them feel like a natural enclosure, right?
Yeah, and when they can, sometimes they try to reintroduce the animals like back into the wild, but that's just
I think those are awesome. I do have a problem with the zoos that keep animals in like really small enclosures.
Yeah.
Or
I agree with that.
Zoos or theme parks that have highly intelligent animals in places where they are not allowed to be intelligent, like SeaWorld, for example.
Sure.
And all the orcas that they have are like kept in these tanks, which are large tanks, but it's nothing compared to like the ocean. And also, it's a whale. You have a whale in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's going to be depressed.
So where's the rest of the ocean? The rest of the water. That's his whole world. That's all he knows.
Anyway.
Yeah. That's fair.
My thoughts. I was not prepared to It's
probably.
I did not come with research on this.
Yeah, right. But I'm gonna refute you with cold hard facts.
And to be fair, I care about animals' happiness in general, and I don't think that we should torture animals.
Agreed.
But also, I think hunting is completely ethical. So, there you go.
Yeah. What a complicated stance you have.
I also think that even though I do, at the moment, partake in factory farm beef and food, I do think that is horrible for human beings and the animals.
Sure, and the animals.
That are bred and killed in those facilities. I don't have a problem with eating meat. Like I said, I do it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a big difference between going to the market or raising your own chickens on your land and killing a chicken for dinner, or going and buying a grass-fed or grass-fed, grass-finished cow that was free-range, compared to some of these cows and pigs who are just born and raised in barns and eat corn all day and then are killed after a year and a half of being alive.
Yeah. It's a good point.
It's Steven's hot take for the podcast.
No, yeah, there's. I guess we don't have to totally go into the weeds. Maybe another day. We'll do some more research on it.
Yeah, there you go.
The red contrast I'll share now is kind of interesting. Is just because like America has so much people to feed, so many people to feed, that like we invented these solutions a while ago, and then now it's just like we haven't come up with a better solution. And so Argentina, for instance, only has 50 million people. I mean, that's a sixth or seventh of what we have here, and they've got cows aplenty. Like it's more food than they know what to do with there, really. So
anyway, that was that.
Totally
my hot take for the episode.
We went from aliens to zoos. I mean, that's
there you go. But I don't care about the aliens very much.
No, not really.
I saw the headlines and I was like, cool.
All right.
Yes. Whatever.
I like that. I'm gonna take your thing though. Like, all right, until I see an alien or see some of their tech or whatever, like until it affects me,
yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. Speaking of aliens, here's a transition for you.
Okay, yeah.
What about killing aliens in Remnant 2?
All right.
They're aliens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd consider them aliens.
It's different dimensions, different worlds. So yeah, I think it's aliens.
Yeah. So Remnant 2 just came out last week.
Yeah, last week.
You spent a decent amount of time on it.
Yeah. You were on vacation. I wasn't totally sure I was gonna get it right at the start, but then like I think it came out on Tuesday or whatever. But then like I think all three of my brothers were playing it, and I was like, all right, I'll get this game. And it's pretty fun. I've played a decent amount since
So
Tuesday.
if we went onto your Steam account, how many hours did you have?
I should have checked just before recording here. Last I checked, it was over 24 hours.
Oh geez,
Yeah.
So you spent a good amount of time on
Over the past week. Last Tuesday, I've spent a day at that computer playing this game. If that puts it into perspective.
So, you also work a full-time job and have a wife and other responsibilities.
I think I did stuff this weekend, or I don't know. I had the house chores and things to do.
And in between all that, you decided.
I think I cooked dinner most nights. Actually, that was impressive.
And you played a whole day's worth of this game.
Whole day. Some of that could have just been sitting in the main menu, but I think it was pretty accurately a whole day.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think I have they let you have 5 characters in the game. I just made my 5th character today, so I'm like, man, I'm out of character slots.
That's funny.
It's a good game. It's fun co-op shooting. Like it can be kind of as complicated or as easy as you want it to be. You can do a lot of like min-maxing, like, ooh, yeah, I got to get this item here and this one here. And or you can just like a Call of Duty fan can just be like, oh, sweet, I got a gun. Like, I know where to point it.
Yeah, I will say that
simple.
These games, excuse me, these games I feel like do a very good job at their gunplay.
Yeah.
And things like that. I don't find too many issues with it. I mean, there's the like classic video game issues of they reload too fast, but
sure,
it's quality of life for the game.
Yeah.
You don't want to. I mean,
you gotta have balance, balance somehow. So, you played the first game, even though this is not really like your preferred genre. I mean, it's a shooter, I guess, but as far as they always call it a Souls-like. It's like Dark Souls. Yeah, and that's not really your flavor.
No, it's not.
And you played a little bit of number 2 so far, so
yeah. So number 2 was a little bit difficult for me so far.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't fallen in love with it. It was enjoyable.
Yeah,
it was enjoyable. Right?
We had one session.
Yeah,
Sit down, play.
Probably 2 hours is what I've played so far. I think the problem was that I didn't start I jumped into what you guys were doing.
Yeah,
And
that's
so I
true.
didn't
That's
know
true.
what the heck was going on. Like I jumped in and I was like in this random like building.
Uh
And like I haven't played.
Get it, loser. We're shooting aliens. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you're like,
And
oh,
I was like,
okay.
what the freak? And like it's been a good long minute since I've played a shooter video game, first of all,
Uh huh.
let alone a Remnant style third person shooter,
Yeah, yeah.
third person over the shoulder. And so I was sitting there like, freaking A, man. And then trying to, learn the new controls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're relatively similar to most games, but, there's some nuances.
There's a couple
but,
little key
learning
changes.
learning the gunplay where it's like, okay, I do have to be zoomed in to shoot. I can't, like, just shoot.
Yeah, yeah. You can't just hit
You
fire.
can't hit fire.
Because you also have melee weapons.
Yes,
Yes.
and it's default if you just if you just left click, it's your melee weapon.
Swinging your sword
But
or
if
whatever.
you
Yeah.
hold right click then shoot, then it's your gun, whichever
Mhm.
one you have
You have
selected.
to aim down sights. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was took a bit getting used to because I would like turn a corner and there'd be a baddie, and I'd like just right click.
Just want to shoot him real
And
quick.
I just want to unload with like one shot him with my rifle or whatever, and I couldn't do that because it was my sword.
Mm-hmm.
So
Also, arguably effective, but not what you were going for. Yeah.
no, exactly. I mean, it works out, right? Like I just have to. It just was going to take a half second for me to like understand that mechanic, and it's not a big deal. It's not a bad mechanic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right?
You're just getting used
I'm
to
just
it.
not used to that
I
yet.
said, haven't fallen in love with it. Yeah, yeah.
No, it's fun and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
interesting.
And you'll play more.
I will for sure.
definitely.
100%, 100%. I also think that aiming in the game has been difficult for me, which was interesting.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it is, but
Yeah, I haven't.
I haven't had. It might be like the reticle or whatever
Mhm.
or something. I don't know, but aiming with I chose the hunter class, and so they have like the high powered
Like a sniper rifle.
sniper rifles, right? And the bow was really difficult because you have to lead the shot. So I
Yeah,
switched over
the bow
to
was hard.
I switched
use.
to the rifle, and even then I was having difficulty hitting some of the targets,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know why, and I still don't know why, and I don't know if it's like the reticle or what it is, but
Honestly, we were playing multiplayer. It could just be desync. Like maybe you should go try hopping in, just like make a single player character and try that out. See if you're having the same issues, then you can at least you can isolate it. You can guarantee
Yeah,
that it
that's
wasn't.
true. I didn't think about that at all.
Like when I play with my little brother, his connection on his computer is like so bad, and so sometimes it'll just be like enemies floating around, or we'll be running in place sometimes. So it's that could be it. Maybe there was a little bit of desync.
I also felt really bad because when you melee in the game, you move around quite a bit,
Yeah, yeah.
and you're dodging the enemies and everything like that.
Mhm.
And so, as the hunter character, I felt like I was supposed to be shooting
That
more
was sniping.
melee,
Yeah.
right? And I was trying to shoot, and I hit Colin so much.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. Colin, he even said something where he's like, "Steven, you're hitting me a lot," and I was like, "I know, I'm
Stop
sorry,
shooting me."
I'm sorry, I don't mean to. You're just in my way." He's like, "How am I in your way? I'm 100 feet away from you." He's like, "But you keep moving." He's like, "I'm trying to fight.
I'm trying to stay
I
alive.
know."
Yeah. I'm like, oh, the last guy's there. I'm just gonna go finish him off with my sword. All right, he's dead. Arrow through my arm. I'm like, what?
Friendly fire.
Steven, he's already dead. He wasn't dead when I fired the arrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I felt bad when I was doing that. I hit you and Colin a bunch. I think I hit
I
Colin.
think it's kind of a fun mechanic. Friendly fire, a little bit of friendly fire, because it wasn't in the last game. I haven't really seen that in games of this style before.
Yeah, well, and it's also like super diminished damage.
It is. It's very minimal.
It's like my sniper rifle does like 90 damage to enemies, and like to like teammates it does like 15.
Well, and we only have like 100 health at the start of the game.
Yeah.
Our health doesn't really scale as much. The enemy's health does, though, a
Yeah.
lot as you level up. So,
Yeah, and then I also felt bad because I felt like I died a ton.
nah. So, yeah, you were learning the
I
game.
felt like I was just walking off ledges.
Well, and
left
I
right.
told you to start on the veteran difficulty as well, and that's what we were playing the
Yeah.
hard instead of the normal difficulty, because
Yeah.
normal difficulty was for chumps. That was way too easy.
Yeah, that's true. You did tell me that. And I am a chump of video games. I should have said the normal difficulty.
No, that's Weenie Hunt General. SpongeBob. That's for the weenies. We're here at the Salty Spittoon difficulty.
Yeah. No, I mean, good game. Good game. I will play more.
nice.
I think it'll. I mean, I enjoyed the first one immensely.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of excited for you to get more into the story, so we can maybe talk about that at a later date, because it's pretty sick. Much like the first game, you don't find out the story until like 6 hours into the game. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really like the storytelling, how they do. They give you a little bit at the beginning of just like, oh, we're tracking down our insert random character here, woo, whatever. And then it blows your mind. Not quite as much as the first game.
First one was like, what the heck?
I was talking to my little brother this week about it. Man, nothing can ever recreate that first game.
Where you walk through the portal and it's like all the different like.
You step into a just another world, and you're like, what, like.
You think you're like beating the game or something like that.
Yeah.
You're like, beat like this boss, and the boss opens up
this big freaking fire dragon. That guy was a pain. But then it gives you one of the best sidearms in the game. But then, yeah, aesthetically you're in a totally different world. You had no idea. You're like, this. I thought we were just on Earth. I thought this was a post-apocalyptic shooter on Earth for the whole game. But
nope.
No, and it just.
Takes you to what? 4 other places? 3
yep.
other? Yeah.
Yeah, 4 other. There's another one in the DLC that was like a snow planet.
Oh, cool.
That was pretty sweet. You fought giant rats, kind of like the Warhammer universe.
Oh, Vermintide.
Yeah, Vermintide. You fought a bunch of Skaven. That was pretty cool. But this one's been pretty good. They have new worlds, as you've seen.
Yeah.
There's a little bit on Earth, but you don't really do a whole lot there anymore. Just the tutorial. And then you go back to the forest planet as well. So you go back to one familiar one.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool to see how that one's changed. And they still, like, recognize humans there on that planet.
Oh,
they're
interesting.
Like, last time one of you guys came through here, you totally ruined everything. Like, referencing the character from the first game.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because it's like, playing the first game, a lot of the NPCs will be like, yeah, that guy, they call him the Wanderer, I think. It's like, oh yeah, he was a total badass. Like, they just talk about you from the first game, which is pretty fun. That like, oh yeah, I was a badass.
Interesting.
I'm excited to have you play more of it.
Yeah, I am too. There's not really any games that like, other than this one, there's not really any games that I'm like super excited to play.
No, yeah, it's like a summer drought or something. Diablo 4 released. Like
I'm not into that type of game though.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
me, it's like.
I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, any other big.
CS2 was supposed to come out at some point, but like I haven't heard anything about it.
No.
And, like, it's still technically summer. I mean, it is. It's August just started, right? So it's like,
yeah,
I guess we still got a month.
I guess they still have time.
But I mean, I was expecting it in July. But
sure.
I'm excited for that. It looks really good.
But aside from that, yeah, I couldn't think of anything else that's coming out.
I haven't played like CS:GO in so long though. It's been probably 2 months.
I mean, at this point,
CS:GO.
Wait for number 2, right? So that's
It's kind of what I'm doing,
Yeah.
Like, and then maybe I'll like grind ranked or something like that.
Yeah. Get good. Just decide to get good at the game.
Getting halfway good.
Oh, okay. Decent.
I'm getting halfway good. Well, yeah, I'm not ever gonna claim to be like amazing at that game.
Don't say never.
I just don't want to put the time in.
Yeah,
honestly, like
the last,
especially in ranked. If it was like if you could get like MMR and casuals, I would do that because casuals is fun for me.
Sure.
Ranked has never been like
too stressful.
Any game. Ranked it's not even stressful. It's just like people take it so seriously.
Yep. That's why I never got too far in League. I stopped playing League of Legends because I could not handle the people. Just the toxicity was insane. For my own teammates, supposed to be on my side, was just terrible. I just hated it.
And it's like
that drove me away.
And like even in Smite or CS:GO or any of these like competitive communities, it's like I don't play ranked. I don't play like any of that. I play casuals because I'm not there to be competitive. Like
you're there to have fun.
I'm there to have fun. I'm there to play the game, and people just take it so seriously. It's like if you miss a sniper shot on CS:GO, everyone's like, "Whoa, you suck!"
You're
it's
the
like,
worst.
dude, this is first of all my first game of the day, and I just let it into a casual lobby. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's rough. The last like shooter game I got good at was Call of Duty 4, which was a while ago, I know, but that was back before the prestige system.
Mm.
Call of Duty 4, the first Modern Warfare. It was great. You could, in the multiplayer, I don't think they had ranked or anything. I'm sure they had competitive events. I never really did any of those. So I guess I don't know how good I was. But the highest level you could get to was 55. And then, like, that was it. You're level 55. And so, if everybody's level 55, they could have just hit level 55, or they've been level 55 for months. And you have no way of knowing. So I got pretty good at that game, and it was a lot of fun. Me and my older brother would just cruise through. Like, we knew all the best, like the sniper spots. We would do they call it the noob tubing. That just pissed people off. You have the underbarrel grenade launcher, and you would just like it. Realistically, if you knew somebody was around a corner, like either they'd killed you before, so that you knew they were just like camping down a hallway around a corner, you would just like, you just jump around the corner with the underbarrel grenade. They're like, stop noob tubing, that's not allowed on this server or whatever. I'm like, dude, it's part of the game. Also, it's an underbarrel grenade launcher. It's awesome. I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, like, why am I not gonna use an underbarrel grenade launcher?
They give this to level 1. You start with an M16 with a grenade launcher on it. Like, what?
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. It's yeah, of course I'm going to do it. So, like, I got good at using everything in the game. Really, I could snipe. I could do the grenade launcher. I'd pull out the big old machine gun. And, dude, it was fun. Just feeling like really good, really accomplished at a shooter game. Hop into a lobby and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to school all these guys.
Yeah.
Like you're on top of the world.
For me, whenever I play like CS:GO, it was frustrating on many occasions. Because I was either the best in the lobby.
You told me this.
And I was like carrying the team.
Uh-huh.
Or I was like near the bottom of the lobby and getting my butt kicked.
Yeah, just polar opposites.
Yeah. It got to be quite frustrating because like I'd be sitting there and I'm like, dude, how do you even hit that shot, man?
Yeah.
And I'm playing with guys who have like thousands of hours on this game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I probably have like 400 total hours on the game.
Right.
Maybe a bit more than that. But something like that. You know, since 2019, whenever I downloaded it or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's anyway.
Yeah.
We have let's see, what else we got on our list here?
Next topic.
I'm going to Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Went and saw it last night.
Tell me about Oppenheimer.
Different than I was expecting. Good. I don't know if it lived up to the hype.
Okay.
But I don't know if that was just because there was a lot of hype.
Yeah.
It was
overhyped.
Very good. It was very good. And there was, because of how the story of Oppenheimer exists, because it is just the story of his life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they go through his whole life. Because of how it's kind of set up, there is some political things in it, but not, like, forcing a message. It's explaining his political views, and, like, there's, like, McCarthyism that comes into play, and, like, you know, you kind of get to see how McCarthyism worked out and how it kind of affected Oppenheimer because he had associations with communists and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. But, yeah, great story. Masterfully told. Could be a bit dry at times because it's a very long movie.
I heard that, yeah.
Also, way more nudity than I was expecting.
Also heard that, yeah.
Which was, I mean,
not like gratuitous, but
no, and there was a reason for it in this, like, storyline wise.
Yeah.
But it just kind of felt unnecessary. Like they could have done it differently.
Sure.
But I mean,
at least the one I heard about was like, oh yeah, he sleeps with a communist, and it's like, yeah, obviously that happened, but in terms of the story, couldn't you just been like, and he slept with this communist, like?
Yeah, well, so Florence Pugh
is the actress. Yeah.
Is the actress who played his girlfriend and then
communist girlfriend, seducer. Emily Blunt was his wife. So
correct.
Yeah.
And Florence Pugh was like naked the entire movie, like all of her scenes, like
no way.
Not every single one of them, but like probably like 80% of her screen time was her
It's
naked.
just nude, yeah.
And it was like Ryan said that she kind of felt bad for her because
Oh, yeah.
like,
I mean,
it just felt unnecessary. That's probably my only complaint was that it wasn't like Game of Thrones level
yeah, yeah.
where it was just like way over the top.
Depending on the episode, you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
this is a bit much.
But it was good. The story is fantastic. And the way there is actually like a twist at the end where you're like, oh my gosh, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
So there is some like,
But he told you that at the beginning of the movie, and you just didn't know.
yeah, there's some. It's pretty interesting.
I'm glad to hear that you like it after talking about like The Witcher previously, and you're like, oh man, The Witcher just jumped around a whole lot in season 1. And that's kind of what Christopher Nolan does. He does a lot of jumping around.
Well, so he did jump around in this one a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he did it was underpinned with a storyline.
Yeah. Okay.
And so there was a narrator who was narrating the story,
Oh, gotcha.
and other, let's call them narrators,
Mm-hmm.
were adjusting how the main narrator was telling certain parts of the story.
Yeah.
And so they would go back and revise how that part of the story was told.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That might not be the best explanation of how it works, but I'm trying not to give like too many spoilers because it is a relatively new movie still.
I mean, it's history.
That's true too.
If I knew the story of Oppenheimer, I mean, I could probably read his Wikipedia page and spoil the whole movie. But
Yeah, well,
Still, that's
it was a
respectable.
very good movie. The bomb scenes were pretty cool.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard it was filmed in IMAX 60 millimeter or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's how you were supposed to view it.
We tried.
My dad's been trying to. Every IMAX theater here in the valley is sold out for like the next week, week and a half still.
Yep.
So.
And we wanted to see yesterday because I'm not gonna have time for the rest of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I guess we're just going to Cinemark.
Yes, we're just going to the.
And it was fine. I didn't feel like I was missing out on any part of it, but the sound was very interesting in the movie. There was many instances where it just went. There was no sound.
Huh.
So, for example, when the bomb. This might not be this.
No. I've heard this. Actually.
Might not be.
Go on.
I mean, so everyone knows that the bomb goes off, right?
Yeah,
like
that's-
they're testing the bomb.
That-
So when they first test the bomb, it's the first test. They're like not sure it's going to work. They have the countdown as 10, 9, 8, and while he's counting down, the music goes away.
Hmm.
And then he pushes the button, and you see this massive explosion. And they all watch the explosion and everything like that. Zero sound. And then Oppenheimer narrates. It's kind of like looking through his mind's eye, right? You're kind of in his mind, and he goes, "And now I am the creator," or "Now I am
Become death. The destroyer of worlds.
worlds," right? Which comes from
The Bhagavad Gita.
yep.
So
They introduced that earlier in the movie.
Oh,
which
okay,
was
that's cool that they
Yeah.
give a. Not everybody.
in
would
one
know
of the
that.
sex scenes,
I heard that.
which was interesting.
I heard that joked about on some other podcast I watched. It just like, now I've become death. As he's in the middle of a sex.
Coming, yeah,
I'm like,
basically.
oh, okay, that's
Yeah. It was very funny. It was very interesting.
It's like I wouldn't have expected that, but sure.
I mean, it's a good way to introduce that phrase, I suppose. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then he says that, and like you just like watch the explosion, and then sound comes back when the explosion reaches
When it
them.
hitches, yeah, the sound.
Yeah, and
Speed
then
of
so
sound.
it's like silent, and you're just like watching this mushroom cloud, and then all of a sudden it goes, and like the explosion comes to you,
Huh.
and they do that in the theater, and it's pretty cool.
Wow.
It was very well done. This is a good movie. I would
Nice.
recommend. I don't think it's going to be like the most popular movie of the year.
Best movie of the year. Yeah.
It might be like the most cinematographic, the most good movie.
Most directed good.
Yeah, I think it was very artfully done. Words.
Throwing another big word in there.
Words. It was very well done.
Movie good.
Movie good.
Me like.
Me like movie good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was good. I would recommend it.
Yeah. I've thought about going to see it. Yeah. I don't know if I told you this. I was looking for a movie to go watch with my brother since he's leaving in a month. For 2 years down to Brazil. So we went and saw on Saturday. I'm gonna have to take him out in a minute. We went and saw on Saturday. He'd already seen Oppenheimer with his buddies, so we went and saw Sound of Freedom finally.
Oh yeah.
Still in theaters, and still like 80% full.
Really?
At the theater.
Wow.
It's impressive.
How'd you like it?
Solid. That was an awesome movie.
Yeah.
Really good movie. Really enjoyed it. I couldn't find a bad thing to say about it. Really,
No.
like, it was a good movie that I probably like couldn't watch again because it just like,
Effed you up.
yeah, it just makes you feel so sick at some parts.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting because obviously they don't show anything. Like there's a little bit of action, but even the action scenes are not like super gratuitous. But dealing with like child sex trafficking, they're not gonna show anything, but it's just like that feeling in the pit of your stomach is there.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man. But the way they told the story was just so well done. In bringing to light, obviously this terrible evil, and then just at the end just highlighting like it's about the kids, like share the message. It's about the kids, and I'm like, that's fine. That was a good movie. That's an entertaining movie, and it spreads a message. Like, more power to them. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it is a good movie. Take him out, and then I have one last thing to ask you that I thought about while on my my trip. I want to know your opinions about it. You just gonna leave him out there?
Yeah.
All right. Let me
Go out and explore for a little bit.
let me pull up the. I made a note of it because it's a relatively where is it? There it is. It's a relatively complex thought.
Okay.
And I was thinking about it because I listened to a podcast or like a video about AI and like the future of AI and things like that. And then I was just kind of thinking, and I was just sitting on top of the boat or whatever and just ruminating over ideas and things like that. And I was thinking about, artificial intelligence with, Neuralink, Elon Musk's like brain chip company and things like that. And I had a moral question for you.
Okay.
So the question is, you have a neural brain interface, right? Neuralink, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That ostensibly connects you with a computer and has some sort of interconnectability with the internet.
Yeah.
And theoretically, it can be used to, part of the Neuralink project idea is to help people that have been paralyzed move their body around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So ostensibly, you can move your body around with this implant. So my question is kind of a two-parter. Is it ethical to adjust someone's temperament through the computer?
Ooh.
For example, anxiety, depression, some sort of mental disorder.
Yeah, anything
or
that's
illness.
in the brain that
Schizophrenia, ADHD.
there you go.
Any of that.
Split
stuff,
personality
right?
disorder. Yeah.
Any of that. Is it ethical to cure that with this implant?
With the technology. Are we handling your first part first? Or you
Yeah. We'll do that
okay.
one first.
Gotcha. Because maybe.
I guess it might be a three-parter.
Okay. We'll try not to spend too much time on one of them. Then I got two.
This
more.
one, So this one, there's kind of three tiers. This one's like the most basic tier where I think I know the answer to it, but
yeah. All right. Is it ethical to cure? If you have the technology to literally alter your brain, why not just fix the ailments of the brain, the natural ailments like anxiety, depression, Alzheimer's, what have you? It's a consenting adult. Sounds all right to me.
So I have two thoughts about it.
Okay.
One, yes, it's probably good in some instances.
Yeah.
But two, some people, this sounds weird, but some people need that stuff to be like themselves.
I agree. Yeah. Okay.
It's like, I mean, think about like all of the famous artists.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't have some sort of depression, anxiety,
The
drug addiction, bad hat, whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
would they have been? Would Picasso have been Picasso?
They weren't all
Would Van Gogh have
happy.
been Van Gogh? You know,
He would have been more whole. 2 years. Yeah.
you know. So that's that question.
Yeah. That is
The
interesting.
second part, and this is where it starts to get deeper, is if this whole premise, same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it ethical and moral in this situation to prevent someone using this device
Mm.
from committing suicide?
Oh. Yeah, because you think like if it was their depression that caused them to have suicidal thoughts, curing the depression, or if like you talking about actually like controlling their thoughts with the Neuralink?
Not controlling their thoughts necessarily, but like, oh, I put a gun to my head, I just black out.
Oh,
I just can't
okay.
kill
Like
myself.
yeah, your brain.
My computer just shuts down.
The computer tells the brain just to shut
Like,
off.
oh, you're done, and just boom, like self-preservation type stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. You force that like over anything else, any other desire to hang yourself, shoot yourself, or whatever. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Huh. I want to say that is interesting.
Right?
I want to say yes, but then also like the sci-fi movie
Uh-huh.
enjoyer in me is like, oh, that can be abused any number of ways.
Uh-huh.
If that's even a feature, what if I just design a short range transmitter just to turn that on to everybody around me, and then everybody just passes out? Boom, you can rob whatever you want. Like,
Yeah.
so I guess I would lean towards no. Like, I'm still a proponent of people having their own choice. Well, obviously I don't like suicide. I don't know who does. That does feel like it can be abused in taking away people's choice, taking away
Yeah.
the free will. Whereas the first one, the first question I saw, that's an advancement of modern medicine.
Sure.
Like, isn't that great that we can cure dementia or whatever? Like Alzheimer's, awesome. Whereas the second one is like, yeah, at that point that's against their will, I think. So
Yeah.
that's tough.
It's an interesting question, right?
That is, I'm probably leaning towards the no on that one. Yeah.
Okay, so the next one then. Same idea, but with crime.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. There's an anime for this.
Yeah. I mean, this is a very well explored idea in sci-fi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not sci-fi anymore. It's kind of like
It's kind of getting
kind of
realistic.
like science now.
There's really good anime, which I know. I got to find a better gateway anime for you. It's not this one. This one does have some cool concepts because it is like, I mean, it probably made it 10 years ago, but it was like in the distant future, which now it could just be today.
5 years from now.
Yeah, they're like police officers in this universe. They had these weird guns, and everybody had the Neuralink. They were all connected or whatever. And the gun, as they got called to a crime scene or whatever, you would just point it at the person, and it would like scan their Neuralink, and it would scan their brain activity and everything, and it would determine whether or not that person was like a non-violent or a violent.
Oh.
And so if they were like violent, if the computer determined that they were a threat to society, then the gun would activate and you could pull the trigger and shoot and kill them. Otherwise, if it was just like a non-violent, like, oh, they're just causing a ruckus this one time, it'd be a non-lethal, and you'd pull the trigger and shoot and stun them and like take them in. And so that led to a lot of like moral quandaries because in order to keep your like because you were killing people as a police officer, so you didn't want to like go crazy or have the like brainwaves that led to that, like being a murderer, is they had to pick like basically murderers and criminals, like weird like oddities, kind of semi-autistic people to be the police officers, and then they just had like handlers who were like neutral,
Normies.
like normal, like they're not psychotic at all to like manage them. So it's like you needed the dirty people to clean up your dirty people.
Interesting.
and keep everybody just like neutral and level. This is how society functions now. It's like I said, distant future, so like AI was controlling stuff and whatever. But
Interesting.
as far as stopping crime, can your computer just like
Because stopping someone's ability to choose for themselves,
mm-hmm.
to take their own life, probably not good because you're I mean, even though it's horrible,
mm-hmm.
and there are ramifications for your family and friends and things like that, you're not directly harming someone else's life by taking your own. It's horrible.
Exactly.
Yes.
But pointing a gun at someone else,
if you're like going to go kill someone else,
that's
and the computer shuts your brain off, and you know.
Yeah. At what point is it when you have the gun in your hand, or is it just your brain knows that you're plotting and planning a murder, and then it just like alerts the authorities or shuts you off or whatever?
Yeah.
I would have to say I probably disagree with that one too. As sci-fi as that sounds, it doesn't sound that unrealistic.
Not at all.
That with our current technology.
I mean, there would be ways to get around it for sure, right? Like, if it was a thing, but
and it sounds nice. It sounds easy. Like crime would probably go down statistically.
But there's a lot of other ways to make crime go down that we don't do anyway. So
that's fair. If we were really concerned with bringing crime down, we wouldn't have a.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of different things we could do.
Yeah.
A lot of different things we could do.
I like the question. That is interesting.
I was just thinking about it, like with the whole AI and Neuralink thing, coming together kind of here soon, probably.
Yeah. At what point, like, would it shut off in murder or just like even non-violent crimes? If it was just like, I'm gonna go rob a bank.
My thought was, okay, well, what if you have the Neuralink chip or whatever, and someone is coming who doesn't have it is coming into your house to rob you or like come murder your family?
Are you going to be able to?
Does it know what the difference between murder and self-defense is?
Who programmed it though? That's the thing of like a computer is only as smart as the person who programmed it
until it becomes actually intelligent.
Yeah. Until it's truly artificial and it thinks for itself. But even then, like, who taught it? Who taught it how to think for itself, and what morals did they instill?
That's true.
So, it's not my dog.
No,
I'm just kidding. That is my dog. He's not supposed to be barking. We've been training him with a squirt bottle to stop barking at the neighborhood dogs.
That's funny.
I guess I'd almost like it if it was like, I don't know, for acts of terrorism. Sounds pretty good. Again, if it could somehow determine that like they were plotting terrorism,
it'd be interesting. I don't know.
Overall, no, I don't.
We'll end on this. Are you gonna get one when it comes out?
Link.
Not even if it's like just used to like
just
Google stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Not until I can. Until it's like Mass Effect, where you can like turn it into a blade and stab people. not until we get to that
blade
point.
just shing.
Yeah, right. You can like, I don't know, use it to hack things or whatever. Yeah. No, but definitely the blade, because that was a fun melee weapon in that game.
I don't think I'll ever get one.
No,
No, I don't think that it's
not for our generation. We're too old.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I'm also kind of an old soul.
I agree. Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm kind of like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
I just want to go live on my ranch with my 100 acres or whatever.
Off the grid, I'd be content.
Frick yeah. If I had like a homestead off the grid and like had minimal access to internet, like I could Google things on like a laptop.
Google things to solve arguments. That's it.
Yeah, that's like. I think I would be. Excuse me. Pretty happy.
So, yeah, nice.
Anyway.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of the 5G podcast. We hope you enjoyed.
As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content.
We're available on all social medias, as well as you can watch or listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Again, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next week.
Thanks.